the latest twist in the Pune Porsche double death of two 24-year-old techies. There is now very strong evidence of a systemic effort at covering up evidence that the 17-year-old who was driving the Porsche, apparently at a speed of 190 odd kilometers per hour, when he struck down two people, was drunk. There was evidence which was collected, evidence which was discarded. Let's just get the latest details of that. I'm now joined by my colleague Sujata Dwivedi. Sujata, what exactly was the conspiracy to ensure that the blood test was actually thrown away? Somebody else's blood was shown. And what about the exchange of money to make this happen?
Well, Vishnu, if you talk about the current update in the case, then at present, the Pune Crime Branch has been able to seize 3 lakh rupees from the guidance as well as from a key arrest that was made in the evening by the Pune Crime Branch, was that of the Atul Kamble here at Sassoon Hospital. If you see where all of these 3 doctors who have been arrested, they were brought here at Sassoon Hospital, and however they were working here, and in the same hospital the 17-year-old juvenile was brought for his blood test to be conducted, and after which while he was taken here, he also there were many questions that were raised, and it was about the blood sampling that was done. The Pune police stated that there was not just one but 2 DNA tests that was done, whereas in the first one the blood reports were changed and it was switched by that of another doctor's blood report to make it look like there was no alcohol presence in that. So at present the Pune Crime Branch is investigating all the angles, and also the 3 prime accused now in the matter have also been added up, whereas it is arrest 2 doctors, out of which one is the head of the forensic department medicine, while the other is also head here in some department, and also we have got the peon, the staffer of this hospital, that is Atul Kamble. All 3 have been arrested, and at present the Pune Crime Branch is trying to investigate where did the money come from, and also as per sources the Pune Crime Branch has been able to track down a phonic conversation between the father of the accused as well as between Ajay Tamre, who are talking and speaking about
right. And again, so that is absolutely crucial, because now there is evidence actually of conversations on that same day which has happened. Thank you so much, Sujata, for sharing and breaking that story for us. But as we introduce our guests, and we are joined this evening by Dr. P.S. Pastrisha, the road safety expert, Advocate Susiben Shah, chairperson of the Maharashtra State Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, Atul Patel, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Aniket Ujjwal Nikam, criminal lawyer of the Bombay High Court, and Abha Singh, advocate in the Bombay High Court. As I go across to these panelists, what I'd like to do is focus on the crash and cover up, how the system tried to save the Pune miner. So let's just have out graphic number 3. Point number 1, and this is systemic. There was VVIP treatment which was given in custody, right? This was a child who was actually allowed to get away by what many people say is out-and-out murder. Bail was granted within 15 hours. How did it happen so quickly? Again, many questions have been asked. He was let off and told to write an essay. This is what the judge actually said, that since he was underage, one of the punishments was write a 300-word essay on why what he had done, and this was essentially running over 2 people at 190 odd kilometers per hour, write an essay on why that was wrong. That's the punishment. Fourthly, subsequently, he was sent to a remand home after outrage across the country. There were allegations of slow police action till the public outrage. That's something the police have denied. What now emerges is that the doctors were bribed at Sassoon Hospital to switch the blood report. The blood report was taken to prove that he had alcohol in his system. And what we now know, per the police, is that the blood samples were manipulated to hide substantial alcohol traces. The family also reportedly threatened the driver to take the blame. The family driver was told, you take the blame, ensure that the boy gets away. So let me just ask Advocate Susiben Shah right now. Advocate Shah, this seems to be an absolutely systemic effort at a cover-up over here. Perhaps the most glaring example now is that approximately 3 lakh rupees has been recovered from one of the doctors who was instrumental in switching the blood. How do you actually see this development in this case?
Good evening to everyone. I would just like to begin by saying that the Home Minister, who's also the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, so also the Eknath Rao Shindeji, who's the Chief Minister, has categorically stated that justice will be done, whosoever and howsoever powerful they are, justice will be delivered. Now, I heard your entire narration. I would just like to add that who was curious as to why there is no alcohol content in the samples, the blood samples. It was the Pune police, the Maharashtra police. They had sent one more sample to Aund Hospital for DNA checking. It was then that they found out that there is a criminal conspiracy. Immediately they swung into action. This morning they've added 3 more sections: criminal conspiracy, forgery, and destruction of evidence. Furthermore, they've also arrested the father, the pub owner under the JJ Act. They've also registered a case of kidnapping. So while it cannot be denied that the child, the person who was driving the car, was a minor, and therefore the only law which can act upon it or can give punishment is the JJB, Juvenile Justice Board, under the JJ Act. The judge acted.
No, and we'll talk about that in a while. And what happens subsequently or potentially happens to the child. But I just want to go across.
No, one more thing. Having seen that wrong order or a gross inappropriate order was passed,
right,
the Deputy Chief Minister swung into action. We appealed, and today the child is in the observation home.
Okay, so we'll talk about that bit in a bit. But let me go across to Aniket Nikam, who joins us as well. Aniket, we've discussed this in the past, but the conspiracy was at all levels. There were 2 samples of blood, one of which they showed a discrepancy. One had been swapped, money has been recovered, a DNA test was done to detect, to prove that in fact the blood had been swapped. The police earlier on apparently weren't working fast enough, right? The driver of the family was told, you take the fall over here. How was this an incredibly elaborate scheme? Right, and they could well have gotten away with this, but for the fact that there has been this outrage.
Som, you're perfectly right. I believe the parents of the accused, particularly the father, who is also a co-accused in this case, has used all the muscle power, money power at his disposal to not just manipulate the system, but influence the concerned people so that they toe their line and try to manipulate the case and divert this case. Now, if you remember, initially the case was registered under 304A, which is causing death by negligence, which is a bailable offence. It is only after intervention the case was converted to 304, which is culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Apart from that, now we have also seen that even attempt was made, and in fact the blood samples were replaced. Now, replacing blood samples is not something that could be done easily. It requires a lot of efforts, and it seems that the doctors have gone out of their way to help them. And what I also wonder is, how could the police not notice this? Now, whenever a blood sample is taken of an accused, the seal is there. It is sealed by the police. A panchanama is drawn, and that panchanama is with the police. And to undo all of this and replace it with something else, with a new blood sample itself, is a very gross thing. Now, therefore, I believe even the police commissioner should investigate this aspect as to whether anybody in the force is joined hands with the father of the child, the juvenile accused, in order to influence the system. And this needs to be gone into, because replacing blood sample, invoking simpler sections, then the attempt was made to influence the driver. The driver went missing. The driver now has come on record and given some statements. I believe his statement under 164 CRPC, which is before a judicial magistrate, must be recorded. Now, all these needs to be investigated, because this is not just a hit and run case. This has traveled beyond that. This is a case of culpable homicide where every attempt was made to cover up all the goof-ups.
Abha Singh, another aspect of this which is shocking is that Dr. Tawade, one of the doctors who allegedly was on the pay to swap the blood sample, he spoke with the accused father. There is a phone conversation which took place the day of the accident. So again, this was the father who was able to breach the system to actually know the doctor who was actually conducting this test. This is not something you can pick up the phone and get information on. It's quite specific. So there seems to have been possibly others involved as well.
Absolutely, you're right, Mr. Vishnu Som. In fact, I am reminded of the Salman Khan hit and run case. It's going on the same lines that a driver came in, the sample was delayed. And here also, if you see, if they have changed the sample in the hospital, I was just going through the figures. The 2022 NCRB figure says that there is only 48% conviction in hit and run cases. That means why these cases are weakened. They are weakened like this. It shows that the system stinks when doctors are so corrupt that they're changing the sample. So it is a criminal conspiracy and destruction of evidence, which rightly so. But this was all happened after the public outrage and cry. Because when the Juvenile Justice Board gave him only to write essay and let him go, I want to bring the attention of Advocate Suzy Ben Shah that 18(3) of the JJB Act says that in the interest of justice, if the offense is heinous, then it has to be tried as an adult offense under the IPC. And that is where the JJB board erred. I want to know whether the JJB board was also given money. That also should be investigated, because at least now the doctors were given money. And these builders, they know how bribing works. The way Mumbai skyline is being destroyed because they openly bribe the BMC. So I am not surprised that the father and the grandfather know either they have threatened the driver or bribed him to come and say that he was driving the car. And police, of course, is in connivance, because first they put a lighter charge where bail could be given. When 2 persons had died, police had no business not to put culpable homicide, not amounting to murder in the first place. When this case comes for trial, the opposite side is going to harp on this, that under media pressure, police changed this. It was not 304. It was not culpable homicide. So police officers also need to be taken to task. If you have arrested the excise, the bar and the doctors, even the cop, the inspector who did not send the sample for 10 hours, the NCP MLA, who came to the police station. In fact, he must have talked to the doctor to throw the sample away. It shows that the system is rotten, and that is why hit and run cases, the conviction is zero, and all the rich and the spoiled brats get away.
Dr. Pasricha, statistically speaking, since you track this very closely, could you share with us some data on hit and run cases? Are these numbers actually on the rise? We have the worst accident rates, fatality rates in the world. But when it comes to hit and run, what does the NCRB data show?
First, I'd like to clarify that this particular case is not hit and run. Hit and run means where you cause an accident and then run away from the incident. Sure. Here the person is caught. Just I thought I'd clarify this.
Yes, of course.
But I won't have the data on the hit and run. But hit and run cases are causing a problem on Indian road, because this is very, very frequent across the country. And now, since we have CCTV cameras linked properly with the control room and the mobile vehicle, wireless vehicle, traffic mobiles, so I think this is high time that we should take advantage of that integrated monitoring surveillance system, so that anybody who is speeding or running away or causing accident, that can be detected. That should not be much of a problem. Even in this particular case, a lot of things have been found out, even though initially there was, laxity shown by the police, and for which 2 senior officers have been suspended also, the in charge of the police station and his deputy sub-inspector. Now, so that action has been taken, but that's a fact that these people had tried to help the accused. That's why action is being envisaged till the police commissioner, came in the picture and intervened, Amitesh Kumar. Now they are very proactive. Even for this particular thing which you're discussing about the 2 doctors, Amitesh had received the information confidentially that these doctors are manipulating and trying to help and send some different sample altogether. So therefore, he immediately, proactively, he got with another hospital, government hospital in Aund area, and because the one which was happening was in Sassoon, and got it done. And then they found out that all these things have happened, and now they have added the conspiracy case, which is a very serious offense, 120B non-bailable, along with forgery, anti-corruption act, and attempt to help destroy the evidence, etc.
Sure.
even, you said something, sir?
No, I get the point that you're saying. I just wanted to quickly go across to Atul Londe Patil, spokesperson of the Congress. Mr. Patil, do you believe that action is now being taken and that this is something that needs to be looked at dispassionately? It's not a political battle per se.
It's not a political battle, but you need to see the other side of the coin also. This has happened only because there is a hand in glove with all the system. Sassoon Hospital is known for this, notoriously known for committing this kind of things. Even this has happened in Lalit Patil case also. How come he get away with all the things from Sassoon Hospital? This is the second case. And what exactly the Deputy Chief Minister and the Home Minister of Maharashtra is doing? This is not the only case. Same case happened in the Jalgaon also. Same case has happened in Indapur also, where Tahsildar has been beaten by people in the daylight, in the daylight 12 o'clock. These things are happening everywhere. It means the whole system is corrupt. We had a doubt, and that's why we raised a voice against the MLA who visited local police station, local PI we held responsible for all this. And then media comes into picture, and then senior police officer swung into action. CP Amitesh Kumar took the charge of everything, and people got to know exactly what has happened. But this is a case of gross misconduct on the local administration level, which has gone blind eye of the Deputy Chief Minister and the Home Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. We have demanded his resignation also. Not for only these cases. Now Nagpur, his own city, Pune, Mumbai, they have become crime capitals. 36 pubs were running without permissions. They had no required permissions.
Okay.
And they were routed in last 2
All right, so you're looking at the larger issue of crime as well. Aniket had a point to make. Go ahead, Aniket.
Vishnuji, I don't think the learned spokesperson of Congress should make it a political issue, because you are aware and everybody is aware that the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis ji himself went to the office of Commissionerate and hold a press conference to show that they are completely with the family of the
when did he go?
and they send out a very strong signal. Now, what is to be understood is one thing, that when the samples were being replaced,
Atul, let me make his point.
No need to raise your voice, Mr. Patil. When the samples will be replaced, and when the police came to know, about it, immediately action was being taken. It is not just that, they have registered a separate FIR of kidnapping also against the family of the juvenile accused. So we should not make it a political issue, but nonetheless, what we should introspect is how did these doctors could do something like this, and why the parents of the accused, the juvenile accused, could have an access to the numbers of the doctors. Now, this entire angle needs to be investigated. You are well aware the Commissioner of Police is constantly holding press conferences to show whatever in development in the investigation is and whatever actions that they are taking. So it is not as if that there is no transparency and it is opaque.
Okay, all right. Atul wanted to quickly respond. Aniket, half a second. I want to move away from the back and forth, but Atul had, yeah, so Aniket, I get the point.
Political issue unnecessarily.
Okay.
We should give credit to the...
Okay, Atul, go ahead. Go ahead, yeah, Atul.
No, I can understand why Aniket is so annoyed, but I would like to put 2-3 questions. When did actually Devendra Fadnavis comes into picture? Answer my questions, Aniket. Aniket, you are a lawyer. You are not a son of Ujjwal Nikam. You are not only son of Ujjwal Nikam who is contesting from BJP in
All right,
Mumbai.
let's stop the tutu meme on the politics. Let me just go across. All right, both of you can fight later on. Let me go back to Advocate Susiben Shah. Ma'am, you are the chairperson of the Maharashtra State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. We've got laws in this country which are designed to protect children, those who are under the age of 18. This is a horrific crime. However, there is a law also which is present. How important is it to go through the process of law and be very, very careful where despite this horrific case, we don't jump the gun and treat this child as an adult unless that process is complete?
Yes. You're absolutely right. We cannot have knee-jerk reactions, and let not media trial happen, nor their politicians with vested interest take away this case. Now, as far as a minor is concerned, there is a Juvenile Justice Act. Now, there are procedures to be followed. If it is felt that if a child is more than 15 years of age and has committed a heinous crime, now what is a heinous crime? That also is defined under the JJ Act. That crime which has at least 7 years 7 years jail is a heinous crime. Now, as far as culpable homicide not amounting to murder is concerned, it is up to 10 years. It does not say minimum of 7 years. So after the trial happens, the investigation happens, charge sheet is filed, the learned JJB will be able to decide whether it is this crime should be taken as a heinous crime or not, and accordingly the minor will be tried in the children's court. To answering to what Abhaji said, Abhaji is a dear friend and a professional colleague as well. If there is a normal case which comes to the JJB and if the magistrate is absent, which was in this case it happened so that the social worker took a decision and granted a bail. It is not necessary that there has to be a quorum of 3 or the magistrate has to remain present when the order is given. Be as it may, we found that the social worker on the JJB panel erred, and immediately we sought an appeal. And today the child is in the remand in the shelter home. So therefore, again, I'm repeating once again, whosoever and howsoever the powerful the person may be, justice will take its own course. The doctors are in custody. It is, of course, a criminal conspiracy which cannot go unchecked and unpardoned, and justice will be done. Today, I'm also speaking as a spokesperson of Shiv Sena, ensuring that justice will be done. But let us not jump the gun. Let us not have a knee-jerk reaction.
Sure.
And let us also not have a media trial. That's my limited plea.
All right. Well, we're going to just put road accidents in context because that's so important. I'd like to thank my panel very much for being with us. Road accidents, especially fatal ones, have been on the rise in India. And a day ago, in just 24 hours, Karnataka recorded 51 deaths because of road accidents, making it one of the most deadly days on the state's roads. It's a statistic that brings to focus the extremely important issue of road safety. And one of the key aspects of road safety is the quality of drivers that we put on the roads, which is the direct result of how licenses are issued.
A single accident in Karnataka's Hassan claimed 6 lives at one go. 4 pedestrians were run over in separate cases in Tumkur. Any regular day sees a maximum of 35 deaths in road accidents in the state. But May 25th scripted 51 tragedies on Karnataka roads. The reason? Overspeeding and reckless driving.
But of late, we are seeing that in last 10 days, so many serious accidents and major accidents are taking place in the night. So that is a cause of concern. I have told our people today that we should go for drunk and drive, that there should be some semblance of check at a night time, means 8 to 10 o'clock we have the drive about drunk and drive, then maybe drivers, they will be alert.
It's a statistic that brings to focus a life or death reality on Indian roads, highways and expressways. 1 person killed in a road accident every 3.5 minutes in India. Karnataka saw 12,327 deaths due to road accidents in 2023. In 2022, 11,702 deaths were recorded due to road accidents. Average number of deaths per day has so far been 25 to 35 per day. On May 25th, 51 deaths were recorded in the state. New driving rules issued by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways will be effective from the 1st of June. Driving tests will be conducted at accredited private driving schools and no longer at the RTO. Driving training centers must occupy at least 1 acre of land with 2 acres for 4-wheeler training. The much publicized Bengaluru-Mysuru Expressway, like many others, has been an accident nightmare. While 60 cameras have been put up on it, there's only one paltry fraction of it on other highways in the state. While enforcing traffic laws are the need of the hour, making better and rule-abiding drivers is a key exercise for which the focus must be on stricter driving license tests, argue experts.
We are giving licenses easy. That means 10 days, 1 hour training if they take it, for 15 days time, they get license. That is called license to kill, not license to drive. Schools conducting and issuing license, giving free hand, it's not at all correct proposal. Then what is necessary for RTO then? RTO will keep quiet, and there will be, furthermore, accident will take place.
From cameras to licenses, what will drive a man to comply with rules of road safety? Be it a city like Bengaluru, 1700 crore rupees needs to be collected as fine from the public. When it comes to a city like Bengaluru, people aren't paying basic fines to ensure public safety or road safety. Now what will work as a deterrent when it comes to highways? With camera person Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.